Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Press Start Gaming episode unknown. It's been a while. Tonight I'm joined with me. Got Mr. Todd Harden.
Hello.
Mr. Nick Rose.
You.
That's it. Oh, wait, hold on.
User in your channel is recording.
And Michael Fritz. Oh, wait, he's AFK still for the last 4 days.
User was moved out of your channel.
Never mind.
Do you prefer to be called Nick Rose by your username, Nick? Or I don't understand.
I mean, Nick is fine. It's the
Just
same
Nick.
thing.
I'll say you can't assume his name.
Well, Todd, your username is literally Todd M. Harden. So
Thanks for doxing me. It hasn't been that in a long time.
okay, well, generally it is.
Like, not since the 80s.
Not since
the Great
last
War,
year.
2020.
Yeah, or whenever I found out my old company's social media policy. But yeah, if you notice on all the podcasts that I host, whenever I name people, I just say their first names now. I'm just like, I don't want to attempt and butcher, like, even though most of them are fairly easy.
We don't need that whole Tendo prefix.
No, his is Jimshin Impact right now.
Yeah, I know. We were talking just randomly. I apologize about getting into we were talking about his tattoo today.
Is he
The
gonna
one
get
he's
it?
never, ever going to get.
So I mean, I was like, you know what? He was like, I really want to get one. I was like, okay. It seems like the guys in the chat don't believe you. So it's like you should just go get it done this weekend and you're taking.
I don't believe that'll happen.
I mean,
sorry, but reality says no. First of all,
my goodness, did you hear that?
what was who was
that was thunder.
Right, but was that at your house?
Yeah, that was at my house.
Oh, that's a bad sign for me.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was at Nick's and it was a distance away.
No.
Also, the logo that he wants tattooed is literally just looks like the L symbol from Death Note. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but it's just like all old English.
I realized yesterday it's literally all the letters in Every Time I Die. I just didn't realize it the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just the L from Death Note. Moving on, we're talking about video games.
Yeah, so wanted to talk really quickly before we do Wednesday Warfare this evening. We had some pretty shocking news.
Shocked.
18th, which was yesterday. This was yesterday.
I was pretty shocked.
That it didn't happen sooner?
No. I mean, okay. Let's be realistic here. So, Bethesda was purchased last year for about $7.8 billion. That's right. Which was like a huge deal then, right? It was like the first time a big, huge slate of studios had been picked Microsoft in like such an aggressive manner, I guess you could say. And like that just like blew my mind that all of a sudden these, chain of studios was purchased and then the whole it's on Game Pass now and it's kind of like, oh, all right, whatever. It's not that big of a deal now. This feels like monumentally larger than that for some reason. Even though if you really look at the amount of studios that they acquired, it's not like
I don't think it matters the amount of studios, and we'll discuss why.
Yeah, I guess it's more the IP. It's the IP,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, first off, if you're living under a rock, Microsoft is attempting to purchase Activision Blizzard and King for $68 billion.
Right.
Yes, $68 billion. It's
right.
68 billion, yes. I heard the number.
68.7 billion.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You made it slightly larger.
Yeah, right. That's not
So
surprising. Like, that number makes sense.
the number makes sense. Now,
I can justify that number so easy.
right. And the thing is like, I'm not saying the number is absurd. It's the fact that you got to a certain point where they were able to be acquired like this.
I mean, any company is acquirable.
Yeah, and like Microsoft or Xbox being a derivative of Microsoft, the most popular, has the most popular OS on the planet, they have the funds to throw that money around.
Agreed.
I mean, I'm surprised that Activision wasn't bought by Apple just cause.
Yeah,
Well,
especially with King in their library.
Exactly.
Or
so
Google with Stadia.
just throwing this on the screen, Andrew actually found this for us earlier. This is some of the largest, basically mergers that has been happening in recent years. Kind of the top of the list, Disney and 21st Century Fox.
Which was like 2 years ago?
Yeah, for $71.3 billion.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's pre-COVID. It was 4 years ago.
Right. But like, you would kind of think at that point, like, because those two IP, like, stocks of IPs coming together, that's pretty fucking monumental in and of itself.
Right.
And it's not that much more than this deal. Like, there's obviously a large gulf between, Activision, Blizzard, and then Take-Two and Zynga.
I mean, is it?
Yeah, 68.7 versus 12.7. That's a pretty large gulf.
No, I mean, like, if you scale it to the sizes of the companies, it's not.
That's true, I suppose.
Take-Two is a smaller publisher. It's still not the smallest by any means. Take-Two publishes NBA 2K. They own Gearbox. They run Rockstar.
Yeah, GTA, another thing that literally prints money every day.
Right. So, but if you scale that down, Zynga would be like Activision when they bought King. Zynga for a while dominated mobile gaming, and by mobile gaming I mean stupid Facebook games. King now kind of dominates with Candy Crush, of course, but like whenever you think about it, it all kind of lines up. Disney 21st Century Fox is a weird misnomer. I don't understand why Disney made that purchase. I mean, I do understand why they made that purchase, but like that one came out of left field for me. AT&T Time Warner is another kind of weird one. I think of that more as a technology company merger more than an entertainment company merger.
So that's one thing I wanted to point out. There's a lot of people that are saying the European Trading
Antitrust
Commission is going to have a fit with this.
There's no way.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you classify this as. Would you classify this as entertainment or tech? I'm saying entertainment.
Microsoft Activision is a IP acquiring.
So I would say entertainment more than anything else.
Right.
Yeah, all entertainment. I mean, what proprietary tech does Activision
Call
or
of Duty
Blizzard
runs on Call of Duty runs on a specific engine. Maybe. Oh, wait, I might be wrong. It might run on Unreal.
Well, this is the other piece of that, though, is that
did they stop
this is
using
becoming...
That's EA.
That's
Oh,
EA.
right.
So this is actually becoming a separate company at this point.
What is?
Everything that is gaming is going to be under Microsoft Gaming.
Which I thought it already was.
No, it's a brand new division.
Okay. Well, they probably had to do that before it got too big. Sony does the same thing.
Yeah.
Sony Computer Entertainment
Studios
is no. Sony Computer Entertainment is one shell company, and then they also have within that Sony Computer Entertainment, which Sony Studios, which has all the different branches from there, like SCA, Santa Monica Studios, all that jazz. Microsoft should have probably done that a while ago with Microsoft Game Studios, getting as big as it is, but they probably wanted to keep it closer because It's heavily tied into Game Pass, which is a good annual revenue to show on your books. Now they probably want to separate it off so that one valuates even higher.
Right.
I don't know how stocks are going to be affected by that, but it's a big deal. Some of these other mergers that are listed on here are fucking weird. Like, who cares? Amazon and MGM? Metro Goldwyn Mayer, like the old fucking movie studio?
Yeah, that's relevant only because
A casino?
No, because of James Bond.
Oh, that's right.
James Bond is rolled up into
Microsoft X ZeniMax is Bethesda. For people that don't know, people on the stream, ZeniMax was the parent company of Bethesda, Arcane, all these other brands. Disney Pixar, that was a Steve Jobs joint. Well, let me rephrase that. That was a Bob Iger fixing Michael Eisner's fuck up with Steve Jobs. Correction. Activision Blizzard King. Activision bought it strictly for Candy Crush. Let's not fool ourselves. Disney Marvel, they wanted the licensing for all that bullshit. Disney Lucasfilm, they wanted the licensing for all that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Just about. Tencent Supercell. Supercell, that brand sounds familiar. China wanted to buy Clash of Clans. That's what that is. Tencent is a huge Chinese publishing company.
Well,
Supercell makes. Well, they have hands in a ton of other companies here stateside, including Microsoft, including Activision.
Yeah,
probably every company on this list. They probably have some stake in it.
They have a big stake with Epic, don't they as well?
I don't know how much because Epic is still technically a private company, if I recall. I'll check that in a second. But Supercell is Clash of Clans, Boom Beach, Clash Royale, and that's similar to Candy Crush. It's one of those kind of acquisitions. Let me check on that Epic thing.
Well, so the couple things.
It's a private industry. It's still privately owned by Tim Sweeney. Oh, Tencent. Oh, you're right, Nick. Tim Sweeney owns 50% of Epic, and Tencent owns another 40%. So yeah, good call.
Close to majority.
I mean, Tim Sweeney probably has like 50.1% to keep a stranglehold, and the fact that they don't have a public offering probably helps.
That's true.
But
so
go ahead. No. We're gonna talk about what games they're buying in a minute.
So I wanted to first gauge kind of what you guys think about this in general. Do you think this is a good move for the industry as a whole, or do you think this is becoming monopolized at this point? This is a bad thing.
Well, I want to say that it would be becoming monopolized, but of all that they've acquired, I don't care about any of it.
We'll go over. Yeah.
Like the only thing that I would say I really care about are the two series or the two franchises that I guess they currently technically own that came out back in the 90s.
Warcraft and StarCraft?
No, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro.
That took a turn.
Yeah, because of the Universal acquisition.
Yeah. So for me, I don't believe it's an issue. For one, it's not a monopoly. There is no way that market is a monopoly when Nintendo and Sony are sticking around. So it's a triopoly, which kind of sucks, but who cares? EA still exists. Take-Two still exists. I mean, Disney makes games technically. Not many.
Yeah.
But they make them.
But if you think about the amount of third-party developers for consoles these days, how many third-party developers could you name off the top of your
current third-party that aren't tied into the big companies?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, what's that?
Team Ninja?
I thought they were owned by Microsoft.
They are.
Then what's the other
Are you
one?
talking about Ninja Theory?
Ninja Theory, that's them.
I think Ninja Theory is also owned by Microsoft now.
Grasshopper Studios.
Software. From Software is probably one of the few that I can think of. But I'm talking
Dark Souls,
like,
right?
Yeah, but I'm talking like huge ass publishers now.
EA
that have a staple. Okay, so EA is the last, right? What is the
right,
last?
But you're talking about publishers.
Publisher is different than developer, though.
True.
Yeah, because
you're absolutely correct.
just who's fronting the money for advertising.
Right.
Well, no, I'd argue development costs too.
Slight development costs, but as far as developers, is pretty much on them to gather their money, resources, and everything. They can get a bump if they get it with a good publisher, but it's basically selling yourself. And today, in the age of everything's either coming early access or crowdsourcing. Like that's not an issue if somebody wants to release an A or double A rated game, but if anybody wants to put their name as a triple A, then yeah, they have to have a publisher. But I think triple A is kind of becoming monopolized in itself by just being the same thing for every other game of its type. It's like if you look at Call of Duty, a triple A game, every other AAA game is just Call of Duty with a different skin.
Right. And I mean, on top of that, AA games died a long time ago.
No, not necessarily. Like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Pretty sure that was made by a branch of Sony.
The thing is,
that's Ninja Theory.
Still a AA game, and yeah, that was Ninja Theory. It was Ninja Theory. And that's still released on multiple consoles. And that was technically a AA game. It released for $40.
Ninja Theory is a first-party video game development studio based in Cambridge. Yeah, that was before, but that was, again, my point again, AA is dead. This game came out in 2018.
2018
sorry. Hold on.
4 years ago?
I'm sorry. Yes. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice came out in 2017.
2017.
So
all right, so that's
5
years ago. You make it sound like that in it decades ago.
I didn't clarify a date. You put one in there in your mind. AA is dead.
AA is not dead. There's still plenty. I just said one example, but
I know
there's plenty of examples of AA games still being around. They're just not as highly touted as the AAA game. AAA gets all the media, all the marketing and everything, but AA games still exist, and people still love them and still buy them. That's why they keep releasing sequels for them.
Let me name you another AA game. No Man's Sky.
Let me name you another game, Todd. Fall Guys.
They were published
pretty much
by Sony.
Everything by Devolver Digital.
Yeah, Devolver is like one of the few publisher developers that's still around. That's on their own.
Kingdom Come Deliverance, Greedfall, Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Like half the things that's popular on the Switch. That's not a
Tales of Arise game.
That's not a first party title. Those are like Devolver, AA games.
I would say they're closer to indie for a lot of
them. What's the No More Heroes? Yeah, No More Heroes.
That's Grasshopper Studios. I would agree with you that they are AA. But again, in general, we're naming companies that have long tenure that have decided not to be merged. Those are the outliers. But in general, I don't see many that break through the cracks. Like Jeff mentioned Fall Guys, which is I forgot the company that made it. Doesn't matter. They had Sony publish it. So it's kind of a weird mixed bag on that. And then it makes it harder. Like I feel like those games struggle more unless they turn into like a cult classic game like Hellblade, or Fall Guys had weird momentum coming out whenever it first popped on the scene that was unheard of. I would even classify No Man's Sky in that same category. If I remember right, that company is not owned by Sony, but they had all of Sony's PR might behind them.
Yeah, it was published by Sony, but so they were given the boost of Sony and all the marketing stuff for it, but it's still an indie developer,
right?
AA game, and it was almost being touted as a AAA game how hard they were doing it, but it was still AA. You could say it was barely indie with that whole spiel about the 15 trillion planet or whatever. But
the world is so
still
big,
fell hard on its face.
You'll never see the same planet as someone else. Day one, you see the same planet. Yeah. So yeah, like we brought up, these big companies have bought a ton of them. Do I think that this is an issue? Do I think this is monopoly? No. Do we want to talk about what Microsoft is getting out of this?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So obviously, the big one is Call of Duty. Okay, that's the biggest franchise in gaming, basically, valued at over $5 billion according to Forbes. Candy Crush, about $1 billion according to Forbes as well. That's the king purchase, is really working that. This is just Activision right now. We're going to go over other stuff in a bit. Skylanders is still valued highly. I don't know how.
Skylanders
and the Spyro world universe
I thought they
is now all together.
Oh.
No. I'm saying that they put Spyro in Skylanders.
I got you.
They, for some reason, added some Spyro other like spin-off games into that number. I don't know why Forbes did it like this. Personally,
Forbes is dumb.
Forbes is not written by gamers. Spyro had a remake recently, which did very well. Crash Bandicoot had a remake, which did really well. Whenever you go over to Blizzard, whenever you think of things that look great on a conference call, World of Warcraft with their repeating monthly charges always will make your numbers look good. They say there's about 12 million subscribers at its peak. It's probably significantly less now, of course. You have Diablo and its various things. That mobile game will probably eventually come out and make them a shit ton of money. You have Overwatch. I mean, for better or for worse, Overwatch is still huge. And then you also have to add in the esports versions of a lot of these, because Call of Duty has a Call of Duty League, and then Overwatch has Overwatch League. I don't know how profitable Overwatch League is anymore. And I know Call of Duty had some problems getting off the ground, but I mean, that's a lot of IP that can just spit out money if you do it right.
Yeah,
and then of course you think about the smaller shit.
Like Call of Duty, for one, like obviously prints money every year. Candy Crush prints money, I'm still sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your other IP that you can really hone in on: Diablo, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, StarCraft.
Now they haven't, if I recall correctly, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, there hasn't been a StarCraft recently.
Nope.
A new StarCraft. There hasn't been a new Warcraft recently. There's been a remake, but that was also broken, and people got refunds on it. Overwatch 2 has been delayed for like 2 years.
Right.
And then Activision has Call of Duty, but they use a 3 or 4 developer cycle to keep that on track.
Yeah, it's typically
Infinity War, Treyarch,
Raven.
Infinity War, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Raven. Yeah. So that's always That's a known quantity. That's a known boost to your quarter 4. My brain just went out. Numbers, whatever. Who makes MLB The Show?
That is a Sony first party.
That's Sony first party. Got it. Sorry. I remember it coming out on Xbox, and I was very confused for a second. I forgot that they just, for some reason, decided to port it directly to Xbox. My bad.
And that's the thing that Xbox was saying is like all the games that were on all different systems, that's not going to change. They're still going to be released on different systems. It's just Microsoft owns the rights to it.
We're gonna do what we want. I mean,
Pretty much.
I'm excited for it because Xbox has done a pretty good job of making their games multi-platform, or at least available in multiple ways. Plus, let's be honest, this gives even more value to Game Pass.
Oh, yeah.
Game Pass is the best deal in video games by a mile. I mean, think of it. We're going to get all the Bethesda games probably day one for free. We're going to get probably Call of Duty day one for free. Overwatch, like, that's a lot of value for, I think, what, $10-15 a month?
Unless they do it the same way that EA, or they do it with the EA games, where it's if you have Game Pass like Ultimate, then you get the game for free on their launcher. But if you just have Game Pass regular, it doesn't work for PC.
Well, that doesn't make sense because Game Pass is their launcher. Oh, unless you're saying if they keep it in Battle.net.
Yep.
Whatever it's called now. Is it called Battle.net still?
Yeah, still Battle.net.
Oh, that makes sense. That would suck. I don't think that's going to be the case, though. I don't think so. I hope not. Let me rephrase that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So, I mean, there's an article. Sorry, my dogs are freaking out over there.
Hey, you got some First Network activity going.
Yeah, it's Glasswire having a fit.
I could tell. That would be interesting though. Like if your Game Pass subscription gave you a World of Warcraft subscription.
See, that's where it's going to get really strange because in my mind, you're not going to get a subscription for free. You basically are getting the base game for free. Because if I'm not mistaken, if I go to shop right now, the installer isn't free, is it?
World of Warcraft for the first few levels is free nowadays.
Yeah, I think that once, like, if you go up to level 10, you can play for free, but then you can't go any higher than that. If it's the same way as it was 15 years ago, but I have not kept up with it, so I don't 100% know.
Oh, you can get a baby Murloc. Yeah, go back.
Yeah. So that's the curious thing, right? It's like
your profile picture got canceled.
I know. Jesse McCree.
That's not his name no more. It's Cassidy something.
Cole Cassidy.
Stupid.
So, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I imagine we're gonna get, the base games for free, like Diablo 2, the remake, classic, etc., etc. But when it comes to like a subscription-based model, I don't think I don't think it makes sense for them to include that. Because like Xbox Game Pass right now doesn't have any, to my knowledge, subscription-based games right now.
Is ESO in it?
No.
It's really not. Wow.
No, I don't think so.
And then Phantasy Star is free to play.
Minecraft.
Not subscription based.
But them realms.
we have to pay for them.
I know.
Well, so Fallout 76 is free to play, right?
I thought that was just because how bad they botched it.
Yeah, I think it's free to play until they can figure out another way to move in some way to mooch money.
Yes, it's Andrew. I have been playing 12 minutes.
Hey, Jeff,
rough.
you got a UAC prompt that you need to take care of?
I know that's so I can Streamlabs. I clicked accident. I still default to Streamlabs in my brain before opening up OBS.
You're a bad person.
Okay. I like how that's okay.
Can we talk about Bobby Kotick?
Yeah, so him in general, and the fact of the matter is like there is still a sexual harassment lawsuit going on actively. There are still employee walkouts all the time. There's inequality within the company. There's a whole bunch of things that is broken within Activision Blizzard. And, a couple months ago, every, I would say, major head of each gaming kind of division kind of came out and said, oh, this is kind of fucked up. Like Phil Spencer of Xbox came out and said it. I want to say it's Jim Jones for Sony. I don't even know if that's actually accurate, to be honest with you. The dude at Sony, and even Nintendo, they're all like, oh, we're like reevaluating our business relationship with them. We're trying to like actively get away from them. And then like this whole thing came out where they purchased this company, and it's like, well, I mean, apparently they're not broken enough to not be purchased.
Right.
Or to be bought out. And so the fact of the matter is right now, currently, he is going to be CEO until this whole deal closes, which is 2023. If the deal closes, if he is still CEO, he will receive a $293 million severance because of a clause in his contract where if you're bought out by a corporate company like Microsoft, you get this package. That's not to mention the amount of money he's made over the years. Just like it's ridiculous. The dude makes way too much money. But the fact is that he's still in power. He's still for now, and you got all this shit happening. And I kind of hate to say it starts from the top down, right? He's still there, and all of this shit is still happening, which apparently Microsoft is cool with. That's basically what they're saying this moment. So I'm really torn here because once this fiscal year closes, or once this deal closes, Phil Spencer is apparently taking over the entire thing.
Oh Lord!
Which is, from what I understand,
that's too much.
Xbox.
So he'll be CEO of basically Microsoft Gaming, and that includes this whole deal, in addition to Bethesda, in addition to everything else that he's in charge of right now. So yeah, that's a lot, right? And if you already have a problem now with just this small, or not small, but this subset of your business, I don't see it getting any better once this dude takes over.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about Xbox or Phil Spencer having a problem with Activision?
What I'm saying is that
Microsoft is kind of just like letting it slide for now. Is that what you're kind of going for?
Kind of, yeah.
But they just bought it,
right? And they also 100% have not actually bought them yet.
Right. They have to go through the regulatory approval. What I'm saying, Nick, is that the CEO is going to step down. So in 2023, when Phil Spencer fully takes over the company, right? I don't have confidence that anything is really going to change because of the scope that he now has under his belt, essentially. So the saying is if they can't fix the problem is independently now, like how is it going to get better once they get absorbed by a larger corporation?
Gotcha.
Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about.
I mean, my hope, prayer, wish is eventually they split the hardware part of Xbox out.
Oh yeah. Well, okay.
It maybe into the Surface division, the hardware, all the hardware parts come together, and then it's just one big. I'm gonna steal Sony's idea: Microsoft Computer Entertainment Corporation, and then Phil Spencer leads that, but he re-CEOs all these other ones below him.
So to be honest with you, I think the hardware division is going to be going away.
You don't think they're going to make hardware anymore?
I think at a point they're going to stop.
Why?
Because
go the way of Sega?
Not the way of Sega. Because they've always said, don't quote me on the exact articles. The hardware business for them has always been a loss leader. Always.
Right.
It's
because
really
they're doing it weird in comparison to Sony.
Sure, but eventually the whole goal is to get your software and your gaming services division up enough. My opinion is that with this play with Game Pass, the long play for it is to make it so ubiquitous that it's going to be on every single device natively. It's going to be on your TVs natively. It's going to be you can have a hardware dongle just like a Fire Stick. You can run it in the browser.
They want to go the way of Stadia.
Yeah, but better, right? Because
I mean, you can't be better than the power of Google.
Yeah, everyone wants to do what the other person's doing better in hindsight, but it's just streaming isn't there yet.
Also,
well, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that next console generation swings around and Microsoft isn't doing some sort of hardware. What I'm saying is that it's going to be underpowered to the point where you don't need an Xbox Series X, essentially, to run these games.
Gotcha.
I feel like they're going to have a thing where it'll partially download the game to where, in combination with streaming, you're going to get like the best visual fidelity possible type thing. It's going to be like a hybrid approach, if you will.
So this is an older article. Apparently, the Xbox One was not a loss leader. They broke even to slight profit, depending on the model.
Okay.
I expect.
I apologize. If you all haven't watched the Xbox documentary, by the way, fantastic watch.
I don't watch documentaries.
And neither do I.
I'm too stupid.
So good.
I get bored easy.
I'd rather play a game. One thing about it, what I see happening is kind of what you're saying, Jeff. What I see is they no longer make actual console boxes.
Yeah,
they make streaming boxes.
Yeah,
and they work with the Surface team to maybe make Xbox branded computers that are certified for blah 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 resolution,
certain experiences. Yeah,
right.
Certain experiences.
They already do that with monitors. They have Xbox certified monitors. So I think it's just an extension of that. Do I think that there will be an Xbox 10 years from now? Probably not. But there will be a box made by the company Microsoft, no matter what. It just kind of depends on the shape. I don't think Azure is ready for the big time. I
think they're just getting their feet wet. Right?
Yes.
I
hope so.
If you play a game within Xbox Cloud Gaming right now, the technology is there. It's working rather well. Is it perfect? No. Is it ever going to be perfect? Unless we all have gig speeds within our house. No, I don't think it will be. It's the latency
but you're saying
is also
it's good enough.
It's good enough.
Okay, but
it's passable.
living in a metropolitan city. Now, if you were living in a flyover state where internet's run on graham crackers, then how do you think that's going to fly?
Well, that's what I'm suggesting, right? So right now, I'm saying it's not ready for prime time to be the sole place where you play games. I think eventually we're going to get to a certain point, and I'm hoping, with if government works correctly, that there will be right, which is a fucking never going to happen, right?
Let me look up who's FCC chairman right now.
Right. So the goal would be eventually in those rural
it's a
areas,
different person. Okay.
you would have better internet access at some point, right? But we're talking like at least a decade.
So here's an issue. So Jeff, you're talking you've played games on cloud streaming, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What games did you play?
Forza 5.
Okay, so you played a racing game.
Huh?
Racing games do require really finite things, but you can also kind of get away with that with drive assist.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I played Destiny 2 on Stadia. There is no way that Call of Duty could come out on Stadia.
Oh yeah, the latency is just too high.
Right. So again, that's what makes me think that there will always still be devices hanging around. Because again, you brought up earlier, networking is an issue, but I was hardwired on 1,000 up, 1,000 down, and I still couldn't play Destiny.
Yeah. Well, I understand. There's always going to be.
What are you playing right now?
Sounds like a typewriter.
No, I'm playing
playing.
Subnautica.
Oh, okay. Are you playing the DLC?
DLC? Oh, Sub-Zero?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sequel.
Oh, it's a sequel. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a full-on sequel.
Okay. Who made that, by the way? Is that AA?
One of those AA studios.
AA is dead. Unknown Worlds Entertainment? Never heard of them.
Oh, Outer Wilds too. Forgot about them.
Oh, that's such a good game.
AA. Like a lot of AA games, they're getting the praise, and people are saying this is one of the best goddamn games I've played in almost a decade. But they're getting slept on by like mainstream media because it's not AAA. It's not being shoved down your throat by marketing departments that this is the hottest game of the season. If your kids don't ask for this, then they're fucking noobs. And if your parents don't get it for you, they don't love you.
Kinda, yeah. Jeff, did you say Outer Worlds or Outer Wilds?
Outer Wilds.
Who made that?
I should know this.
It's a great game. I love that game. It's one of the, if you don't know, we'll enlighten you on one of the better games from a couple years ago. It is a time loop game. You experience a giant multiple worlds, like a universe, solar system, and you have to solve the puzzle of the entire universe within 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, 21 minutes.
And then the world resets. And then if you didn't finish it, you're boned.
Mobius Digital and Annapurna Interactive, according to
Annapurna, there it is.
Also,
right, that makes sense.
Nick, apparently your favorite batteries are...
Huh?
Your favorite batteries are AA, according to Indra.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's right.
He's
I don't think I own a single D cell.
I hope you got fire alarms. Or smoke alarms.
Those work on 9 volt.
Oh, you said D. I apologize. No vibrators for you.
Oh, actually, no.
That we know of.
I do have a mag light, but that's yeah. Hold on, let me see.
All right. What else you got on this, Jeff? I think we've talked about the games. We talked about the future.
I mean, overall, it is I'd say, a shocking development. We knew that at some point a larger play was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of curious to see. I mean, to me, in my opinion, EA is now firmly in crosshairs.
No.
Oh, I 100% think so. I mean, because if you think about it, right now, EA is already on Game Pass.
Challenge everything, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, see, which has hit 25 million subscribers, by the way.
Game Pass?
Game Pass. They just announced that in the same little blurb. They're like, "Oh yeah, 25 million subscribers."
Man, Game Pass again. Game Pass is such a good deal.
So that is one thing I do want to mention with these acquisition plays. Right now, we're at $14.99 flat.
That's for Ultimate.
For Ultimate, yes.
You don't have to get that.
You don't have to, but Ultimate is, Ultimate is Ultimate. It's pretty good.
It's the only one that gives you access to the EA library as well as the cloud gaming.
Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to play console versions,
gives you EA.
Nope.
No.
I'm looking at the fucking website. It might gate you out of some games.
Like are you talking about because they have the EA Play Pro, but if you don't have Ultimate, then it doesn't let you do EA Play, the basic version of it.
Hey, let's just look at Game Pass real quick.
There you go.
Maybe they changed something and I'm not aware of it.
I mean, I've had EA Play since the beginning.
Well, yeah, I had EA Play as well, but then that's when I had Ultimate, and they back like 3 years ago, and they had this whole thing when they first came out that you could do.
Nick, it is different now. It is different.
I've never had Ultimate.
Okay, so PC right now it's $10 a month. Also includes EA Play.
Right, but it does. There are some games that I believe are called EA Play Pro or something like that.
Right, that
it's
is
like the
different.
super new releases and some random bullshit. Like usually, like the current version of Madden, the current version of FIFA, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so Ultimate at this point, the only critical difference.
Show the difference on this page.
Right, the only critical difference is that you also gain access to console games if you have a console.
Right.
You also gain access to console games through the cloud.
And Gold. But I don't own an Xbox, so.
Right.
Yeah, but Xbox Live Gold at this point is you don't even think about it, Like
I mean, it's still $10 a month by itself, or you can add $5 and get Game Pass Ultimate.
Sure. So I mean, this is what I'm fearing. Okay, Netflix continually has been hiking their prices.
They just announced another one, I believe.
Yeah, I was just told that they brought in another price hike.
So, and the reason why their prices have gone up is because of their acquisition plays and the amount of money they're spending on original content. So it stands to reason that we're getting, in with this sweet deal right now, which is a fantastic deal. If this could easily go up to $30 a month. Easily. And I think we would pay for it. Because think about it this way. Yes, they're saying, hey, all the games that we have right now, they're going to be on as many devices as possible. PlayStation's a huge chunk of the Call of Duty player base, right? However, they also said that originally about Bethesda. They said, we're going to have it on as many devices as possible, blah, blah, blah. And then Starfield was announced. And they're saying, well, Starfield is going to be an exclusive.
Yeah, but PC, is it like
I thought
exclusive or timed exclusive?
That's the thing. We don't know.
Oh.
But here's the thing: if you're a huge Call of Duty player, you've always gotten it day one. If Xbox comes out and says, "Hey, we're going to give you Call of Duty 3 months before PlayStation," that's a pretty substantial difference.
Yeah, but is that any different than how they're doing it now, where if you buy whatever, like battle pass or whatever it's called, you get a week head start of some people, and for people that are really into Call of Duty, a week is a hell of a long time for somebody to get the edge on you, learn the maps and all that stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just they keep pushing it out. I want to say it's the exact same thing like when stores were opening earlier and earlier for Black Fridays, and one store said, "Oh, okay, well, we're going to open up on 4 a.m. Friday." Then another store the next year, "Yeah, we're doing it 2 a.m." Then eventually it turned into, "On Thursday at 12 a.m., we're having our Black Friday sale."
Right.
And it's just going to keep naturally progressing until it just implodes on itself, and then now, yeah, nobody is doing that, or at least very few are doing that. So if they just release it earlier, give somebody the timed exclusives or something like that.
To wrap up Starfield, I got some clarification. Pete Hines has said, this is a quote directly, "If you want to play Starfield, it's Xbox and PC. Sorry. All I can do is apologize."
That's it.
And for people that don't know, Pete Hines is I'm going to say the voice of Bethesda. That's the easiest way to phrase it. He's head of marketing for them. So yeah, it looks like it's just PC and Xbox. No PS5 at all.
Now, if that is the case, then we could probably safely say Elder Scrolls 6. Right?
Yeah.
So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, eventually, they're going to look at how much money they're making. I'm sure it's a substantial amount of money that they make in PlayStation, right? But it's going to get to a point where they could easily look at Diablo and say, you know what, we're all going to release Diablo on PC and Xbox. That's it. And just call it a day. And if someone's like, well, that's not cool, I'll be like, well, I'm sorry, pay the fee. Play Xbox.
Yeah.
Like it.
But
this is they're having all the power.
Before. This has happened before with so many other franchises. Yeah. Bayonetta, released for everything. Nintendo acquires it. Now it's only on the Switch. I mean,
sure.
What's the difference?
There is no difference.
Nintendo acquired Platinum, right?
No.
Isn't that who makes Bayonetta?
Yeah, they make Bayonetta. I don't think they acquired Platinum.
I thought they were part of the Sega umbrella.
Platinum is an individual studio.
So
I left my prawn suit at my base, and I went all the way down here.
Okay. You're right. They are an independent studio. They must have had some of their games published by Sega, and I just partnership with Sega. Okay.
The major difference, Nick, is I would say that the Call of Duty is such a large franchise. For them to go exclusive to one system is a pretty large deal.
It's not one system, it's Xbox and PC. And then you got what you call it? The Steam console handheld.
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck. All right, so that's going to basically be a PC but handheld console-ish type thing. Okay. And that can play all the PC games.
I'm not sure what your argument is.
Is that there's still you're just saying that it's excluding PlayStation.
Sure.
Okay. So, and once the next ones come out, different console generations, like they can just get a PlayStation.
You guys don't have phones?
No, what I'm saying is that by these acquisitions occurring, it's it's gonna eventually start limiting the amount of third-party support.
And honestly, one more thing is that when you limit like how many consoles something goes to, games usually get better.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Yeah, because now they don't have to worry about like developing for another console. They can focus more things on the consoles that they are working on, and then it usually comes out to a better product.
Sure, but I would also argue that competition breeds more better products.
Yeah, that just means PlayStation needs to come out with a Call of Duty killer, so they can bring back SOCOM.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, that or Resistance or something like that.
They need to get their fucking shit figured out on the Sony side. This is not only like, are they starting to lose potentially third-party developers, they're gonna start losing to Xbox in terms of cloud gaming and this Game Pass deal. Like, it boggles my mind that Sony cannot look at what Xbox is doing and say, Jesus, if we just offered for like $8 a month a Sony Classics collection, which would allow you to play every PlayStation game, 1, 2, and 3, even 4, for like one set price, like a backlog.
You mean PlayStation Now?
No, I don't mean PlayStation Now, because it's not the same thing. Think about how Xbox works right now, right? You can literally go to the library and you can download a copy of, I don't know, games all the way back to Xbox, and it runs within an emulator on the actual box, right? PlayStation Now is streamed to the cloud, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, which has obvious pitfalls, which we've already discussed. So I'm saying is that if they've basically created a system that's just a direct duplicate of Game Pass, to where you could download all the PlayStation games you want, all the fucking PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3, that library is deeper than Xbox has. Well, maybe not now.
I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, but all right. So when you brought up how streaming works for Game Pass, I have tried it before as well, and I agree with you that it works somewhat. Like I tried playing Deep Rock, and that's not a super
intensive
graphics intensive game.
Rock and Stone.
Rock and Stone to the bone, but it still had its pitfalls, practicalities, and stuff because of just the architecture in it being a newer game made. Now, here's the thing: if you want to stream a PS2 game, which can fit like what 1-2 gigs tops of how large of a game it is, to stream something like that, a hell of a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is what PlayStation Now is.
Yeah,
that already does that.
It's a hell of a lot easier, so it doesn't have the same shortcomings as Game Pass does with its streaming. So
I guess what I'm trying to say is that take PlayStation Now as it stands right now, the streaming component.
Oh, okay. I will.
All right. And
hey,
then
my PlayStation Now, please.
Add on the component of being able to also download games, just like Xbox Game Pass does.
Okay.
Charge a flat monthly rate for it and call it a day.
So it wouldn't have the library.
What do you mean?
I don't think PlayStation has the library.
PlayStation definitely has the library, especially PS2 era stuff.
Oh, okay. PS2, yeah, but old game old.
Yeah, old game is old. And then there's also the difference of most of the games that you have for the Xbox on the Xbox 360 on the console, I should say, was made backwards compatible. And wasn't there the whole thing with the architecture of the PlayStation's
the cell
being,
processor
that would make it difficult. Yeah, that would make it difficult.
So, and it's not even a software issue. Like you can just download a emulator update. It's an architecture issue of the hardware. So,
but I would disagree with that because
that would be a whole different system that they would need.
No, because right now Xbox backwards compatibility, it's running a 360 emulator on Xbox.
Yeah, we're not talking about Xbox though. We're talking about PlayStation. The whole reason why, like, they lost on their fat PS3s could play all the previous consoles, but then they made the new slim model that ditched that feature. If it was just an update that they could do, why wouldn't they do that?
Right,
because they're dumb.
Because if I remember right, the first PS3
could play PS2 games.
Right, because it had a physical PS2 in it.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then homebrew hackers who have hacked the PlayStation 3 have not gotten it to run PS2 games.
Right, because the cell processor is stupid.
But what are we talking about here?
I'm saying we're losing a whole generation of games unless they.
But what are we running it on?
A PC.
Yeah, are you saying that Sony should have a downloadable catalog for PC?
No.
You were saying you want it like Game Pass.
Yeah, which is for PlayStation.
Right, which is
on the console.
On the console. So, but if their consoles can't do that, they would have to make a console that can do that.
I sincerely believe there is a way. If we have PlayStation 3 emulation on a PC right now, which we do.
Do we?
Yes, we do. It's difficult, but it works.
Okay. I also have Excel on my PC. I don't have it on my PlayStation.
But what I'm saying is that a PlayStation 4 or even a PlayStation 5 should have the hardware capable of running an emulator of a PlayStation 3 game.
Okay. I think you're being very positive about it, and I appreciate you. The fact is that the current best known PS3 emulator that I see available can only play 63% of PS3 games.
Which is better than what a current PlayStation 5 can play, right? Which is 0% natively. I'm saying that's without access to Sony's tools.
So not only do you want to copy Game Pass, you also want to make somebody buy a $500 PS5?
Well, I mean, I'm saying that's the latest version, right? Like, if you're gonna do it,
to buy a new version that hasn't come out yet that can
no. Don't twist my words, my friend.
I'm twisting them.
The version that is out right now, PlayStation 5, right?
Okay.
That is the newest model, right?
Okay.
It should be capable of running an emulator with an update. Just like Xbox eventually received an emulator from 360 Xbox game.
Okay.
Now, if they want to go the extra mile, and because they're apparently producing more PlayStation 4 still, they want to release an update for PlayStation 4 that does the same thing, more power to them. But I think the focus should be PlayStation 5. That's their forward-facing console. It doesn't make sense to dedicate resources to exclusively PlayStation 4. See what I'm saying?
No, what would make sense is putting all their games on PC.
Sure, and they could do that too if they really wanted to.
Not to or as well instead of.
No, I don't think so.
You're saying Sony should go the way of Sega and just
software published forever.
Because this is the problem with that, Todd, is right now you can't run console games natively on PC through Game Pass. It's the same thing.
That's not correct.
That is okay. How is that not correct?
UWP.
Okay. I would like you to play Halo 5 Guardians.
First
PC.
of all, I refuse to play that.
Okay, but that is a native.
What's
Xbox
Halo 5
game.
Guardians?
Yeah,
It's garbage.
It's called Infinite, sir.
No, it's not called it.
No, Halo 5 is Infinite.
No, I thought that's Halo 6.
No, it's Infinite.
Infinite is Halo.
No, 5.
Halo 5
So,
Guardians.
again, I will point this out.
Okay.
And you can nitpick it, which I 100% agree. But currently, today, if Xbox chooses to, the same exact version of a game can be run on PC and console.
Oh, that's correct.
With no changes.
Yeah.
The same executable can run under UWP. They already do it with Gears of War, Forza Horizon, ReCore, Sea of Thieves, Halo Wars 2, Scalebound, Killer Instinct, State of Decay, Ark Survival Evolved, Cuphead, We Happy Few, and Crackdown 3.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why you can't go into the settings files for damn near 80% of all their games is because it's just the same version that's on the Xbox. So you can't do much modding, only for specific games that they've allowed that for.
Right. Okay. So, but that's what I'm saying. You brought up the differences. I'm saying that today, if they wanted to, they can do that. You said load a console game on my PC. If I load those games up, I'm loading the exact same edition that comes out on Xbox.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Okay. I like winning this.
But the only distinction I'll say.
Nope.
There is a distinction.
You're trying to get the last word. Nope.
I'm not trying to get the last word.
What is it then?
What I'm saying is like the Xbox 360 games, for instance, I can't run those on.
Right, but you didn't specify console.
Oh.
So I got to choose. That was the whole point of the current generations of Xbox. They were built on the x86 64 platform,
which
so
also
they could just move around.
Which also is what for PlayStation.
I mean, I agree. PlayStation is running a AMD 64-bit processor. Why is it so hard to port games? Why do they need a whole other studio to do it? Riddle me that, Batman. I don't get it. I don't understand how Xbox can put their biggest games out on day and date on PC and Xbox, where it takes literal 5 years for God of War to show up, or 2 years for Forza Horizon, not Forza Horizon, Horizon Zero Dawn. My apologies. And then a year for fucking Death Stranding.
Because it wasn't originally designed to be on. Okay, so I'm going to throw this out here.
Because the PlayStation wasn't designed.
If you start right in the development cycle and say, "Hey, we're going to support PC, Xbox on day one,"
but then you just call out
there are most likely different divisions within the studio that says, "Okay, we're going to be responsible for making sure this runs on PC. You can be responsible for making sure it runs on Xbox."
But you just called out that the PS5 is the same architecture as a PC. You just used that argument against me, but now you're using it as the reason why it's not.
Because it was originally designed for PlayStation 5 exclusively,
which is X64.
Correct, but you're not thinking about the graphics component.
I'm thinking about everything.
I don't think you are.
I could be wrong. Unreal Engine 5, I'm pretty sure works on both. Could be wrong.
It does, but Unreal Engine 5...
Frostbite, I'm pretty sure works on both.
Okay.
The Call of Duty Treyarch engine, I'm pretty sure works on both natively without having to futz with it.
Okay.
So what's the excuse?
The excuse being that Sony doesn't use Unreal Engine 5 natively for all their games.
They use Unreal Engine 5 for a ton of their games.
Okay, what does God of War run on?
I don't fucking know. Some Santa Monica bullshit.
Okay,
probably the same engine as fucking Kojima's game.
No,
I don't know.
See, this is what I'm trying to say. You're trying to take a game engine that was built exclusively to run on the PlayStation.
Engine.
And then now make it support PC.
Proprietary engine. So that's okay. So hold on. Again, I brought up earlier that Xbox can do it without any harm, but then you said, well, PlayStation can too, because they're also 64-bit. But now you're backtracking and saying, well, they built proprietary engines. Whose fucking fault is that? God of War came out.
Okay, first off, we're saying two different things.
Are
right?
we?
Yes, because what I'm saying is that with it being a PC engine, it is capable of running games in an emulator.
It doesn't have to run games in an emulator.
It would have to if it's trying to run a PlayStation 3 game. Yes, it would.
We're not talking about PlayStation 3 games.
How are we not talking about PlayStation 3 games?
I just brought up current games.
I understand.
We were talking about
yeah, I know,
current
but that's what I'm
games.
trying to say. We're talking about two different things now. You're asking me why it took so long for God of War and Horizon and all these to get there. It's because the engines themselves were not originally built to run on more than one system.
That's right.
Not have to adapt.
You're right. PCs didn't exist whenever those games first came out.
My
apologies.
That is not what I'm saying.
I'll stop.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it was not meant to run.
I'm standing up. Hold on 1 second.
No. Oh, you're going to hear that whir. That
Can you actually hear it? I don't know if you can hear it.
I want to hear it.
I'm saying, though, that it wasn't meant to run on more than one graphics adapter. Now all of a sudden they have to write drivers for it to run on fucking multiple graphics cards.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
It can just run on AMD.
Yeah, but what about me? I don't
give a fuck. They don't
care. I feel like I'm talking to David right now. It's like talking to a brick wall.
Yeah, you can act like you're talking to David, but I'm smarter. So that's why your whole problem with this argument is. The point is, you were talking about, well, they built it for PlayStation.
Yes.
I agree. But we were talking about why can't they do it? If the console can do x64 executables, why don't they program in x64 so it just natively runs?
Because that's okay.
Is that not how computers work? You program in 64 and it works on 64-bit?
No. There's so much more that goes into it.
Well, I agree. I agree with you.
You're oversimplifying it so much.
I'm oversimplifying it so much that I'm wrong?
Yes.
Oversimplifying it like saying, why doesn't PlayStation just let them download their games?
Yeah. Jeff, tell me. So, again, I'm confused. Are you talking about you think that PlayStation stops it because they don't want to have to program for a million different configurations that could possibly come out of putting it on PC?
Right, because that's not the way the original pipeline was designed. Now,
isn't that part of the engine?
Now, that being said, because they have released Horizon and Death Stranding, which is running off of the Horizon engine, and God of War, which is running on their own, they've now built up the support to allow it to run on multiple graphics engines. So going forward, right?
They have no excuse.
Correct. They should, in theory, they could release God of War Ragnarok. Day and date the same time. Now, are they going to?
No.
Seriously doubt it, because they're Sony.
They want multiple purchase cycles.
Right. The whole thing with it going to PC finally is there was an article, Quarterly Barlog, for God of War that's released. He was asked, is this coming on PC all of a sudden? The internal studios have been fighting for years. Also released their stuff on PC. Sony was like, no, we're only going to do it on our console. Gotta be exclusive. And I think they're just now starting to realize, because Sony is fucking stupid, that there's another revenue stream here that's here to untapped. Would potentially benefit from it. What I'm trying to say, end of the day, is that Sony's dumb for not releasing it on PC until now. Then they're also dumb because they have not developed a full Xbox Game Pass competitor. That's my TED Talk. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Good job, Jeff. You got the last word in.
I did. Not intentionally. Appreciate you all for joining us tonight. I've had Mr. Todd and Mr. Nick. I'm not using last names anymore. It's too much work. Next time, we got stream right after this for Warfare.
Mm.
Oh, Todd says, I don't know. You feeling sleepy, Todd?
It's almost my bedtime.
But you're standing.
I know. That's the only reason I'm awake. Let's get this stream started. Bye, everybody.
Bye.